not spamming, but actually just genuinely putting in the work. So that's going and taking it. And that may catch someone's attention because you know this as an artist, Clever. Like, you may have a deep lyric that really means something to you. It's kind of subtle in a song. Nobody gives a fuck. But if somebody comes around and is like, yo, those 9 words together hit me, you're going to take note of that. It's the same way I take note when people leave a comment in my Instagram about a certain part of a video that I could see is not the spiky part. It's not the part that everybody caught on, but I knew what it meant to me. That catches my attention. I'm like, oh, that's a thoughtful kid. Let me see what that's going on. Artists do that too. That's taking it. And then having it come to you is putting out the fucking work.
Exactly. Yeah, I
More
agree with
music.
that.
I believe in it. Like, everybody, you know this. You've been watching me for a while. Like I believe that putting out more music is good. Like, I genuinely do.
Yeah, I tell a lot of people, like, the content, everything that, keeping it consistent is great. A lot of people fail to do the research that I think that it takes, just digging in and trying to, find those opportunities, not just, doing all the social media things, but, a lot of people think you can just make the record and shoot the video and put it out there and pray to God. You know what I mean? And
That's
that's not
that's almost 100% guaranteed to not work. Almost 100%.
exactly. And it's hard to explain that to some people. Like, they think it's just going to catch fire. And what they have to realize is a lot of the viral videos that it's got a lot of work going into it. I know some record labels that put millions of dollars into some marketing schemes for certain artists to get certain songs at the number one spot.
Yet, if you look at the top 50 right now and you map it to TikTok, this is why I've been fucking yelling at the top of my lungs for 18 months to every artist and every person about TikTok. Yet, if you get, I mean, there was a moment when the baby was in my office. And I'm like, bro, TikTok, like you're already ascending, but you win in that environment. And sure enough, a couple of quotes. Same thing with Lil Keed. Like some of my guys have been really going in there. Like TikTok, you know, 5 TikTok influencers doing a dance to a certain snippet of a song will outperform $4 million media spend by a fucking record company every day of the week in 2020.
And it kind of goes back to your one is greater than zero thing. Even the small influencers, I notice when I check my stats on Spotify, you get a lot of plays that are 1,000 of them only have 100 plays or 50 plays, but if you're on 100,000 playlists and those 100,000 playlists all had 100 plays on them, that's a lot of fucking plays, man.
The
So
long tail, Club. The long
yeah,
tail. I believe in that shit. And by the way, that's exactly right. And inevitably, you've got one important person that's digging deeper and is on those small playlists, and that becomes the moment.
exactly, that one person. Um, it's a lot about who's listening and not how many sometimes, because there was a couple of people trying to stop me from doing a particular song, and that particular song that came out was something that I was felt strongly about. And although people didn't necessarily feel great about the song, enough to push it and put a bunch of money behind it, it just happened to be a song that got noticed by Justin Bieber, by Post Malone, that ended up being a feature that came out the next year. You know what I mean? That just kind of keeps that consistency going.
It's the single thing I believe in the most, which is when you make the content you want to make versus the content that people want you to make or that it looks like you should be making. It's literally the post I posted at 8:30 this morning on Instagram. It's me and Murda Beats, and it's me a year ago telling him like, "Yo, TikTok," and he's like, "Yeah, but I don't dance." I'm like, "No, no, no. This you do what you do." And here we are a year later, and TikTok looks completely different than it did a year ago. When I was yelling 18 months ago, a year ago, everyone's like, "14-year-old girls," and I was like, "For now."
Right? Yeah, it's definitely huge. My TikTok is slacking right at the moment, but
But I'm telling you right now, I believe that TikTok is more important to you than Spotify. How about that? On some real shit.
well, and you might be right. I tend to go really hard on some of the platforms that pay because I do so much to the free stuff that
But bro, you're too smart for that. because you're super thoughtful. I'm loving this combo. The number one thing that pays is the place where everybody's eyeballs are at, even though it's not paying you, because those eyeballs pay later.
Right. Facts. That's huge facts. I've got a TikTok. Mine's at Clever. I made it look the part. I've got the blue check going on. I got about 3,000 followers, which is,
Cleb, listen to me. Let's make this action oriented because I'm going to jump to the next call. We'll chop up in real life. I can't wait. You need to post 2 or 3 times a day on TikTok. It will change your game. I'm telling you.
Okay. Hey, you
figure it out. Go all in. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm
all
with it.
I wish you well, man. Can't wait to see you.
You too, bro. Thank you so much.
Got you. A lot of fun. Super smart kid. I like his thoughtfulness. Good job, Dustin. I know you were playing with the mics there. I thought you did a really good job. That was challenging.
Yeah, that was tough.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's keep it going. Let's keep this going.
Oh, Gary.
Hey, Rashad?
Rashad.
Rashad,
Yeah.
real pleasure.
Oh, it's awesome. I'm excited to be here, man. Real quick, I just want to say thank you a couple of times here. Thank you to you, first of all, for the amount of content that you're just giving away for free. So many people want to charge for the words coming out of their mouth, so I appreciate that.
Happy to do it.
And, that you're very simple and you cut through the noise, so right to the point.
I appreciate it. The simplicity, it comes so natural to me, and I think that we cloud our heads with so many things that are just our fake perception, and it stops us. And so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. And, I definitely want to thank your team, Dustin and Zane, for coordinating things behind the scenes. I mean, I don't think people necessarily understand everything that's going into producing this, but, props to those guys for being on top of things and coordinating. So
I agree. I think Dustin's getting too much credit and Zane's not getting enough. Dustin.
I agree.
You agree, right?
Yeah.
All right, get out of here. All right.
So I had a couple of questions that I think caught the team's attention there a little while back. I know they've been trying to get me on the show for a few days. So my first question is just from the point of view, I'd like to get your perspective on what you see as leadership and their responsibility during times of crisis, and I guess how we recover from crisis too. What your perspective is. What's the biggest responsibility they have?
To be compassionate, sympathetic, and empathetic to everybody but themselves. That's what I think the responsibility is. I think true leadership is when you realize you're working for all of them, not the reverse. Mm-hmm. And I think it's very clear to me when I see good leadership and when I see bad leadership. And so for me, the responsibility of an actual leader is to, as the going gets tough, to be even more about their army than themselves. And so does that leader have the humility, the patience, the empathy, the compassion, the sympathy, the kindness to give fucks about everybody but themselves? That takes, self-deprecation. That takes, selflessness. That takes a lot of things. And so I think that's what I'm looking for. And I think a lot of, to me, only the ultimate leader can go all the way there. Me in my companies, for example, because, for example, a lot of the leaders on my companies I've noticed are worried about their paycheck, are worried about their happiness. And that's because they're not at that ultimate leader spot just yet. And then in other people, you see it there, even though they aren't the ultimate leader. And then you're like, oh, they have the attributes to be an ultimate leader. So it's about those things. So I think the responsibility is to put it on their shoulders. It's on them.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think it's great. Love the perspective. So moving on from that, unrelated question, leadership is a passion of mine. I've been loving leadership. Leadership is such a broad kind of term, I guess, but, leadership in its form, in its art, in its, growing yourself, growing other people. I love all this stuff. And I've recently kind of made the jump to actually doing something. And, it's been in my heart for a long time to pursue that and to try and, grow something out of that. And, really, I'm an infant at this point, having just kind of kicked off my social platforms and stuff like that. And I'm trying to be, on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. And I'm about to launch a website and a podcast, but like we're 4 weeks into this and I don't want to get overwhelmed and I don't want to dilute what I'm trying to do. And so I just want to know what you believe would be the best actions for me to focus in on.
I think eliminating the word dilution. Volume does not mean dilution.
Right. So just keep pumping it out.
I don't feel diluted. Saying shit you don't believe is dilution.
Yeah. I get you.
But you can say the same thing across 13 different platforms, the same exact thing, 13 different ways, because LinkedIn is different than TikTok, and that means it's not diluted. The dilution comes in saying shit you don't believe in or you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The dilution does not come in the volume of creative that is put out.
Right. I get it.
Make sense?
Makes sense.
People focus on dilution or quality in amount of pieces out. There's some people that are diluted the first fucking words out of their mouth because they're talking some bullshit.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter that they only posted one time.
Yeah. I think I end up thinking too hard about what I'm trying to say, and I'm trying to make really in deep, long form content and stuff like that. It's just I sit there staring at my computer screen for like, man, does it sound good? Does it not sound good?
It's even in the way you're doing this Q&A with me. It makes sense to me, right? Like I think you put thoughtfulness on a pedestal, which is amazing. I think that if you're thoughtful, it will come out. I think a lot of people think too much about presentation. Like I come out like, there's a very good chance that I'll go down as the kindest entrepreneur of a generation. Yet I don't think that's how people saw me at first with my fucking cursing and aggressiveness and competitiveness and jerseyness, right? And so what I mean by that is the truth will always shine. Yeah. It's just the way it is. There's no hiding in life. And so no matter how clever people try to do or how much they package it, it's just so obvious to me that, it will ultimately play out. No matter how misunderstood I was for a decade, a lot of it's starting to play out. And I didn't think it, heck, I think this show has a lot to do with it. Mm-hmm. And yet, I couldn't have predicted COVID or, I kind of predicted Tea with Gary V's. If you saw that clip from 10 years ago on Instagram, but I definitely feel as though you're overthinking it, because if you've got it, it will play out, and if you don't, it will play out. And I think you trying to package it, is not going to be the variable. Right.
So just be thoughtful and share
be thoughtful by nature, not by sitting there and be tactically thoughtful.
Right.
Don't become a fucking poet. Fucking just put it out. However it comes out. The more you put it out, I'm better at putting it out than I was a decade ago, because I've kept putting it out, and then it gets refined. Yeah. It doesn't get refined in your head. It gets refined by living it.
Right. I get it.
Good.
Thank you. I want to see you in Edmonton. I got my ticket. I hope that.
I'm desperately trying to get there. One time canceled. The second time in the fall, I'm worried about. We'll see what happens, but I will get my ass to Edmonton. I'm committed.
All right.
I'll see you soon. Take care.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye. Love this. Swing for the ring. Good to see you. Stephen Pata. Great to see you.
Wanted to get your thoughts on something.
Please.
On YouTube, there's someone that's kind of spamming. And everyone's telling me to ban him, but I'm not gonna, because it's obviously not my call.
Yeah, I think I saw it on Twitch a little bit. I'm seeing it on YouTube a little bit. Like, I think we're gonna need to consider mods. So why don't we? Everybody's kind of looking right now. Dustin, not Justin, is your Instagram handle, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, and let's not overflood Dustin. If you genuinely want to be a mod, meaning you want to be here every day and you want to, you feel like you understand me, which is don't ban too early. I like when people razz me. It's just when somebody just spams.
Oh, that's what it is. It's not someone razzing you. It's just...
Yeah, I know that's what you're saying. But we may need some mods, so we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Are they still doing it?
No, I asked him nicely if he could just try to stop a little bit.
I love that.
He said pretty much told me to fuck off.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's put him on the show. Let me have a combo.
Okay.
Keep it going. Hello, my friend.
Vaynerchuk, how are you?
Hello?
Hello? Are you hearing me?
I can hear you. What's your name?
Okay, thank you. My name is Muasaka. I'm Syrian, living in Iraq, in Erbil city. I'm 18 years old. I have a two question for you, so hope you can distribute the time on. The first one is I like your keynote speech and how you communicate with people and be effective in your speech. In your speech, and you mentioned about how the voice technology will make the impact in the future. So
Yes.
thank you for the value that you put there. And now it's talking in front of all the big audience. Don't make you anxiety or make you forget what I'm about to say. And how you arrange the topics that you want to talk about. And how you, what's the steps do you take before the event? Because when I see you on the event, I saw you walking in your phone. Okay, nothing's gonna happen. What's make you uncomfortable from the inside and let you focus on what you're about to say?
So I think the question is when I'm communicating, how am I able to gather my thoughts so I know what I'm talking about on stage? How do I make that transition? What's my process to know what I want to be communicating about in that scenario, whether it's on stage or somewhere else? Is that right, Mose?
Yeah, just how you focus on what you're about to say. What's make you comfortable from the inside and
Yeah.
let you focus.
Understood. So to that point, and you went even more thoughtful, I appreciate that. What is it in me that allows me to be so comfortable, confident, and then quiet and focused that it lets me articulate at the level that I do?
Exactly.
This is a very fun moment for me. I think it comes down to experience. I think a lot of people want to speak early on and things of that nature. The number one reason I'm able to, there's many things. I have natural comedic improv capabilities. I'm very comfortable in all scenarios. I have an amazing relationship with adversity and tough situations. So going on stage is as tough as it gets for a lot of people, but I'm okay if it doesn't go well. I also think experience, so it's an experience and adversity. My relationship with adversity, I'm okay with anything happening. The mic doesn't work, people boo me, they think it's stupid. It's all fine for me, that relationship with adversity. Number two, I only talk about what I know. Too many people talk about things they don't know. Too many people want to talk about things that they haven't lived yet, that they haven't experienced, that they're not experts in. They talk about it because it's the cool thing or the hot thing or the important thing. They talk about shit they don't know. It's not their truth. So I speak my truth and I have a relationship with adversity, which means on a moment's notice. If you were like, hey, Gary, my screen's now going to turn to 500,000 people in Iraq and I need you to give a keynote, I would do it right now. Right now. I would say, T, I'm sorry, I have to give this 500,000 person keynote. My friends and family in Iraq, I would go right into it. So I think it's about staying in my lane, only talking about what I know, and being unbelievably comfortable with adversity.
That's what make you believe in your talk?
100%. I believe in myself because I don't care what people think about me. It's my relationship with judgment. I don't care. And what I mean by that, of course I care. I'm a human being, but I can't value it more than my own happiness. I can't live on somebody else's terms. I can't. It's a bad idea.
How to make the balance between your opinions and the data that you have? And what's recommended for?
Data shows you yesterday. My intuition helps me with tomorrow. I respect data, but only after the fact. There is no data of the future, and I only play in the future. I only play what's in front of me, where tomorrow, right now and tomorrow. Yesterday's yesterday. There is no dwelling. There is no, woe is me. There is no, oh, that's how it was. I take the past and I context it. The past is what told me TikTok was going to be important because I have experience on how Vine, how Twitter, how Instagram, how Snapchat happened. So I saw the patterns. So I respect the past, but I don't overdwell on it. And when somebody says to me, well, Gary, 86% of people buy their products at stores, not on e-commerce in America. I'm like, yes, that was yesterday. Now we have COVID. Things are going to change. So it's that balance.
Thank
I appreciate it, my friend. I wish you well. Thank you for being on the show.
Okay. Okay, just the two questions I have. Just the second is, I worked about 3 years in an ads course company called Kursel.com that's owned by my uncle and my dad. My work is in this company is cars photographer. I just want you to see my work in my Instagram profile.
Please.
I didn't document the entire process in my working, but I've got some example in my profile, so hope you can see it.
100%.
Can you see it now?
Of course. I will take a look at it. I'll have Dustin set me up. All right?
Okay, just what I work in this company too is I write car specifications, and I have a powerful knowledge about the car specifications, and I work as supervisor at our work with part of exhibitions and cars agency. And I worked as a website admin. What I worked in my spare time is I learned multiple things like video editing and programming, but I didn't achieve the level of professionalism at this thing because I spent my time in it as a hobby.
It makes sense. Plus,
Like,
you were Mose. You're a kid. You were a kid. You were 15 to 18.
So, yeah,
You're a fucking kid.
I watch a lot. Yeah,
That's why.
thank you.
I'll save you time on the answer. You're a kid.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I watch a lot of you for this video. I interested in this thing. And what's how the business work. My interested in marketing and branding, and maybe in the future build the businesses.
I'd love that, man. We'll get to know each other.
If you now, what's the requirements? Maybe I can work in your company. I've been looking forward to working with you for a long time. I will be happy and anything that requires me in the marketing field.
Listen, I have good news for you. Yes, I got it. I appreciate you taking your shot. Good news for you.
And any requirements you require.
Yep. Good news for you.
Working for free and willing to take the effort and the time working here on your company. Even if you want to let me training in the beginning and show you my capabilities, because my goal is to learn. Yeah.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Listen to me. Good news. Now that we're more open to remote work, we may have a shot. I'm going to have Dustin connect us after this, and we'll get to talking in the next week or two, okay?
Yes.
All right. Good luck, brother. Let's keep it going.
Thank you.
Thanks for all of you who are watching, bearing with it, because obviously the audio was a little tough, but I just liked him and wanted to get through that. So let's keep it going. Mo.
Hey, Gary. What's up?
Life is good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I want to thank you a lot for this amazing program that you're doing. Like, I've learned so much. It's the best shit on the internet, really. Best info out there.
Thank you so much. Where are you from, brother?
Thank you. I'm originally from Lebanon, but I'm currently in Denmark. Like, I've been living in Europe for the past 5 years, and I think it helped me a lot in many aspects.
I love it.
And I'm just going to give you a small backstory, and then, you can help me a bit better, I think. So I came from Lebanon, and I studied in Poland. I studied medicine, and I finished my medical degree this year. And the thing with medicine is it's a very demanding profession, especially in residency. You need so much work. You need to work like really long hours, and it's very difficult. And I want this